So after doing some research on 65-inch TVs, I feel like all of the TV experts seem to think that it's impossible to get a good quality TV under $1,000. So to find out myself, I bought the cheapest 65-inch 4K TV available at Walmart by their Onn brand for only $298. I also bought the cheapest TCL 65-inch 4K TV at Best Buy for $349 to see how bad these TVs really are. I'll leave links down below with current pricing and more information for both TVs. I will say TCL adds these plastic straps around the TV box that definitely makes it easier to carry the TV. Since Walmart doesn't do that, it can be a little tricky to move around since the top kind of lifts right off. And I'm not sure if it's because I opened the TCL box after the Walmart one, but it definitely seemed a lot easier to open and assemble versus the Onn TV. As far as build quality goes, they actually seem pretty similar. I did notice a few scuff marks on the back of the Onn TV, but you would never see those, so I'm not too concerned. The Onn TV has pretty small bezels for this size of TV, but the TCL bezels are quite a bit smaller, maybe even half the size of the Onn TV, so it definitely looks a little more modern as far as design goes. The Onn TV weighs about 50 pounds once you put on the legs. TCL weighs about 34 pounds, so both of these are a lot lighter than my older 55-inch Vizio that I've had probably since about 2010, which is so heavy it actually takes about 2 people just to lift it. When it comes to software, the Onn TV comes with Roku built in, while TCL comes with Fire TV built in. It's probably going to come down to personal preference. I don't feel like one is a lot faster than the other just moving around. Some of it's going to depend on how fast your internet connection is. For me personally, I probably wouldn't base my TV choice on which software is pre-installed because chances are those are going to slow down over time, and I like to use external streaming devices that I can quickly just plug in and they're already set up. Plus, if I change my mind on which streaming device I want to use, it's pretty easy just to swap that out. As far as the remote controls go, I definitely prefer the TCL remote because it's quite a bit bigger than the Roku remote that comes with the Onn TV, so it's a little harder to lose the remote and it's a little more comfortable in the hands. I also had issues with the Roku remote where if I would drop it occasionally on a hard surface, it would make it work a little bit better. I thought it had low batteries, but after trying several, there's definitely something wrong with the remote control. Good thing is I found a cheap universal remote at Walmart for around $10 that works with all of the Onn brand TVs. It's quite a bit bigger and it lights up and just a better remote than the small Roku one that came with it. As far as connections go, with the Onn TV, you've got 3 HDMI ports, 1 composite, 1 USB, 1 optical, 1 coax or cable, an Ethernet port, and a headphone jack. On the TCL TV, you've got 3 HDMI ports, 1 USB, 1 composite, 1 optical, 1 coax, an Ethernet port, and a headphone jack. I also like how the power cord is detachable on TCL, where unfortunately it's built in with the Onn TV. Both of these have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The remote control sensor is in the middle for both. As you can see, a little different style though. Now, both of these TVs are VESA mount compatible. I just measured to see what the difference was. It was about 15.75 inches across on the back of the Onn TV and then 12 inches down. Where on the TCL TV, it's 12 inches across, 12 inches down. So a little bit different dimension for the holes on the back if you plan on mounting this on a wall. When it comes to the legs, I'm not really the biggest fan of the new style on TVs because they don't necessarily fit on older furniture because of how far apart they are versus the old style where the base was in the middle. It just feels really fragile with the baby size legs like these, and the TV kind of wobbles really easy. One difference is the Walmart TV has metal legs versus all plastic for TCL. I know for me, I usually put my TV on a wall mount, but the legs definitely seem a little better quality for the Walmart TV. They also use 3 screws for each leg versus 2 screws for TCL. Now, as far as video quality, both of these TVs have 60 Hz refresh rate. They're also kind of a matte finish, so the reflections and glares are pretty minimal on both TVs. I tried to connect as many things as possible to see how different these two were. I connected my PS5 to play some Rocket League. I connected my iPad through AirPlay. which both TVs have, and it actually looked really good on both of these. I also played games using my iPad with an Xbox controller through Bluetooth. I also connected my Samsung tablets using an HDMI adapter. I also watched some football, Netflix, and of course some YouTube videos as well. One thing that I noticed between these two is if you go about 45 degrees with the Walmart TV, it's slightly more faded or washed out compared to TCL versus looking at it straight on. So a little better viewing angles for the TCL TV. I also think it depends on what you're watching, because some of the stuff that I was testing actually looked pretty good overall, even at different angles. But obviously the screen's gonna look better if you're straight in front of it for both TVs. As far as brightness goes, the Onn TV has 300 nits brightness, which really doesn't sound like much compared to cell phones and tablets, but definitely seems bright enough. I couldn't find where the brightness level was listed for this TCL model, but when putting them next to each other, I feel like the TCL is just a tad brighter, maybe closer to 400 nits. The colors definitely look more saturated or vibrant on the TCL TV, but the colors are a little more natural with the Onn TV. So kind of personal preference there. You can also see better details and dark areas on the TCL TV, but again, it's really close between these two. I feel like both of these look much better than I was expecting. I also wanted to see how bad the speakers were, to see if I'd have to buy a soundbar. To me, the sound quality on both are just okay, not as bad as I expected. It probably depends on how big of a room that these are going in though. I feel like they're probably loud enough for where I'm going to be using them. They definitely don't sound as good as my old Vizio TV, where it has a bar across the bottom, where the speakers are facing towards you, but still not bad as far as built-in audio goes. I don't feel like I'm going to have to buy a sound bar for either one. Here's a quick sample just to see if you can tell a difference between the two.
As you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
So bottom line is, if you're considering a cheaper 65-inch TV like one of these, they're gonna look a lot better than you would think. After seeing several reviews online, I was actually expecting much worse. Now, are the more expensive TVs gonna look better than these two? Probably. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the picture quality on both TVs and would have no problem recommending them. But if you said I could only keep one of these TVs, I might have to lean towards the TCL. But the more I think about it, I could probably just keep both, right? So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.